Hey everyone, so Mr. Arniga here, and I decided to do a video for the instruction for this is for lesson 1.3 representing music, and I thought I'd do a video so that way you can watch it when you have a chance, you can refer back to it if you want, and I'm going to give you all the instructions that you need for doing this lesson. So this lesson is all about sound effects, and we're going to make some sound effects, some custom sound effects to use in the apps that we write. And we're going to be making some apps coming up where we're going to need some sound effects. And one in particular, we're going to make an app where a ball bounces around the screen and makes different sounds when it hits different things. And so for that app, you're going to need a couple, like two different sound effects for sure. But it's kind of fun to make these, so you might want to make a bunch of them. But what we're going to do then is the assignment for 1.3 is for everybody to make at least two different sound effects, and you're going to save those into into a shared folder so that we all have access to them. So that way, if everybody in the class makes a couple different sound effects, then you'll have a bunch of them to choose from. Hopefully, I think most people will probably choose to make more than two because it is kind of fun. But that's the assignment. So all you really have to do is follow these instructions to make a couple different sound effects and upload them into the shared folder. And if you do that, I'll grade them out of the shared folder, and you'll be good. So like I said, I think this is fun. So we're using software called Audacity, and it should be already loaded onto my classroom computers. And it is a free program, by the way. So this is something you can go to the Audacity website. You can download for free on your computer at home. I'm honestly not sure if there's a Chromebook version of this. There might be. I didn't check. So let's make a sound effect. I'll be honest with you. I do not know how all of these controls work. I've only played with this, you know, uh, some, and I know how to use the basic features and things. And so if you want to mess around with it, or if you're really good with sound mixing and stuff, you might know more about this than I do. But I will show you kind of the basics of how to make some cool sound effects with this software. So first thing that we have to do is we have to create a sound or record a sound. And so the computers have a built-in microphone that you can use. You know, just uh, yeah. So let's uh, let's start with that. And so I'm going to I'm going to record a sound here. And so we'll do that with these controls right here. So we have pause, play, stop, go to the start of the track, go to the end of the track, and record. And right now we don't have any audio tracks in here. So when I record it, we'll generate one. And you can record, within reason, kind of whatever you want. Um, I'm going to use my voice, but then I'm going to add some effects to it so that you won't even really be able to tell that it's me or that I'm actually saying words. Probably. We'll see where it ends up. But you can do other things too if you want to do an instrument or if you want to clap or something like that and then play with that sound that you get. You can totally do that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to start with this. Wow. All right, so I just decided to start with that, me saying wow, right? So, wow. Yeah, all right, so good. So you can tell this is a timeline right here, and you can tell that my sound is about 2.5 seconds long. And first thing that I want to do with this sound actually is I'm going to use the magnifying glass tool right here. And I'm just going to click on this a few times to make this a little bit bigger. Come down here and drag this window over so that I can see that sound. Wow, all right, I made that really big, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. And so you can see the waveform here of the sound that I made. And we can also see a couple of other things here. The first thing that we can see is before my sound actually starts, there's almost about 3/4 of a second, a little more, then 3/4 of a second of just dead air, right? And there's even a few little ticks here from some ambient noise that's in the room. And I don't really want that to be part of my sound effect. For some sound effects, you might want to keep them really short, especially if it's like, a ball hitting something and there's a sound effect. You wouldn't want that sound effect to last, many seconds. That would be kind of weird. There might be other situations where you need sound effects that last longer, but for this, I want it to be a really short one, and I don't want all this dead air because when it plays my sound, I don't want it to delay almost a second before I hear my sound, because that's going to make things awkward too. So first thing I want to do is I want to crop this down. And I'm going to show you how to do this really easily to get rid of all this, I'll call it like, dead air before my sound actually starts. So, wow. Right, see, that was a lot of delay there. Oh, move this window back over. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to this toolbar and I'm going to grab this selection tool, right, which is this long, tall thing right there. And that lets me drop a cursor onto here. By the way, you see two of these because Audacity works with stereo sound, and so there's a left and a right track. And but I have a mono microphone right now, so it's just recording the same thing on both tracks, and that's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to make a difference. So I'm going to drop this cursor though, like right at the beginning of my sound here, and I want to get rid of everything to the left of the cursor. So all this stuff over here, all this really blank area, I want gone. And maybe you have, maybe you make a sound and you have a bunch of sounds on here and you just want to, get one of them. You can also, cut other sounds out too, but I'm going to use this to crop it down to get all this quietness out of this. So I put it where I want my sound to start, and then I'm going to come up to edit. I'm going to come down to the select menu, and I want to select from the track start to the cursor. So from the beginning of the track, from 0, all the way to where I put that cursor, now that is selected, right? And I want to get rid of it. So I'm going to come up to the edit menu again, and I'm going to choose delete. All right, so that's gone now. So now when I play this, wow. Now I still have this dead air at the end, right? Which I also don't want, because I don't want this sound to keep playing for, almost an extra second. When my sound effect is done, because I might want to have another sound effect, and the other sound effect isn't going to play over the top of this one. It's going to wait for this one to finish. So I'm going to use that cursor again, and I'm going to drop it right about there, and we'll get rid of all this stuff. So this time I'm going to come up and I'm going to choose edit, and I'm going to choose select, and now this time I'm going to choose cursor to track end. Right, from the cursor to the end of the track I want selected, and then delete. And now that just leaves me with this. Whoops. Oh, my cursor is stuck at the end here, and that's something that you got to pay attention to. When I hit play, the cursor's already at the end, so I'm going to use this button to put the cursor back to the beginning. Wow. And there we go. Wow. Wow. All right. So that's kind of a weird sound effect. So now I'm going to use some effects, some special effects to change this up. And there's lots of them available. What you do need to know though is we need to select the sound or the part of the sound that we want to add the effect to. So I'm going to come up here to edit, and I'm going to come down to select, and I'm just going to choose all at this point. That selects my whole sound. Now I can come up here to this effect menu, and there's all these built-in effects that are really cool. I mean, some of them are. I haven't checked all of them out yet, but a couple that I found that can be kind of cool. This wah-wah one. So let's try that. I'm going to choose that. There are all these options. I haven't messed with any of the options. I just like that. I'm going to say apply and close that window, and let's see how that affected things. Wow. 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 All right, that's not bad. But let's say that, that's not really what I'm looking for. So I'm going to come up here to edit, and I'm just going to undo the wah-wah. One other thing that I actually forgot to mention just now, one effect that you're almost always going to want to do first before you do anything else is you're going to want to normalize the sound. And what I mean is you can tell that this actually got at its loudest pretty loud. You can see the height of these waves almost makes it to the end here. So this sound maybe not so much, but if you have one that doesn't, you definitely want to come up and add this normalize effect. Don't change anything here, just say okay. And that'll stretch it out vertically so that it is a good volume to work with. So,
Wow.
all right, perfect. Now, I don't know, I'll try a different one. Maybe try like this echo effect. And I found by making these numbers really small, the echo is kind of cool. So I'm gonna maybe even change that number a little bit and say okay. And
Wow. Wow.
still not what I'm looking for. Let's undo that. Um, change pitch is actually kind of cool. I can use this slider to change the pitch of the sound. So if I drag this up a little bit, say okay. Now let's see how that affects it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know,
Wow. Wow. Wow.
right? And then you can even crop out. Maybe I decide, oh, I don't know. I want it to end like here-ish. So um, I'm going to select cursor to the end of the track. I'm going to delete that. Now what do I got? All right, so maybe that's my sound effect right there. That could be cool. Maybe a sound effect for an app, like a game or something. I don't know. But I'm sure you guys will have fun with this. So, whatever you want. But as soon as you have one that you kind of like, then you need to save it. Actually, you need to export it. And I want to show you how to export it and show you how to upload it to the shared folder so that you know how to turn these in. So, once I have one that I like, kind of like that, it's only not even a half second, so that's perfect for like maybe a game where something happens, right? Awesome. So come up here and I'm going to go to the File menu. I'm going to come down here to Export Audio, and I get this. So make sure that you save this under Libraries over here, and maybe even in Music, right? Put it in here. We're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call this Sound 1. And make sure that you're saving it as the type MP3. So we're going to save it as an MP3 file. Don't change any of this information down here. Just leave it like that and click Save, right? Oh, that's not good. It needs some lame file. All right, so let's give this a shot. Oh, that's not good. All right, so new plan. Um, yeah, I got it. All right, so you know what? We're gonna save it in this format for right now. We're gonna save it as a WAV 32-bit, right? And hopefully that'll work. Save, and you don't need to put any of that information in. Awesome, and we have that saved. So now if I go to my music folder, there it is right there. Sweet. All right, so there it is. Now, how do I get this onto the shared folder? So this is period 4. It's the same for period 5. You guys have access to our period 5 shared folder. And in here, there is a folder for 1.3 representing sound, or I'm sorry, representing music. So you go here, and you can do this a couple ways. You can minimize this. Whoops, not that minimized. Make this a little bit smaller, and then make this smaller, right? And you can actually just drag this over, right, the from the folder on the disk on the drive to here, and there it is. Or The other way that you can do it is you can come up here to New and choose File Upload, and then just go to where the sound is and upload it that way. That's going to put another one here. So, oh, it's asking me if I want it as a separate file. Sure, why not? So now we have 2 of those. All right, so what I want you to do, I'm actually going to get rid of that second version. What I want you to do in here is I want you to make a new folder with your first initial and last name, and then drag your sound into that folder, right? So that I can tell that that is yours. Awesome. And then that way we'll all have access to all of our folders. So that way, if you want to use this sound, there it is, and you can use it in your apps. I'm guessing you guys will come up with better sounds than that, though. So that's how this works. And if you have any questions, let me know. Good luck. Have fun.